Hey everybody, welcome back for another live workout. Today we're going to do our stick mobility focus. So hopefully you saw the message when I put it out on our social media. So if you have the orange stick from Stick Mobility, you're definitely going to enjoy this one. If not, I would say recommend, obviously, great piece of exercise equipment. They are durable and long-lasting. This is actually one of the Gen 1s or Generation 1s. You can see almost got like a tennis racket grip tape on it. But now they've kind of evolved to this. And this is actually probably Gen 2. They even have a newer version that we haven't got quite yet. But these ones have a little more rubberized grip. So great pieces of exercise equipment. Obviously, primary focus on stretching, but flexibility, mobility, and strength training with these and using isometric strength. So I'll show you one example of that right now. Kind of a great warm-up movement I like to do with clients called the Dumpy Squat. Okay? So Dennis Dumpy is one of the creators of Stick Mobility. So this is named after him. Stick is up in the ceiling. We got a rafter here, so you can kind of see that. It's up there. I'm putting force into the rafter. Okay, and making sure it stays up into the ceiling. My hands are in front of my belly button, stacked together, elbows in near my body. I'm going to keep that force up into the ceiling as I push myself into my squat. Come back up. Keep your tension going up. Now, I've just got about enough tension to hold it onto the ceiling, but if you're looking to build a little bit of strength in your squat pattern, obviously there's only so much you can put, but you're going to push it into the ceiling. Alright, so you can get down to the bottom of your squat, and then you can push harder up in the ceiling, create isometric tension throughout your body. Right? I feel it mostly in my quads here, where you probably should feel it, primary mover for your squat, even though compound movement uses more than just our quads for the squat. Alright, so I'm going to do about 5, 6 more. Cut. Great movement prep for this one. One more. Good. Alright. So I'm actually, normally when I've done this, the stick mobility session, so the stick mobility session, I usually do it on the ground. I usually do standing, right? So now I'm actually going to go the other way. I'm going to start on the ground. So probably, hopefully, if you tuned in for a stick mobility session with me, hopefully I'm showing you a couple new moves too. All right, so this one, real good hip flexor and hammy kind of stretch mobility kind of combo or flow, if you will, right? So I'm here, half kneeling, side to knees down. Stick is on that side. I'm going to push my hip to that stick and kind of lean into it. Hip flexor, quad on that side. And then I'm going to bring the stick back to my shoulder. And then hammy stretch. Hold each one for about a 10 count for each. Alright, so even though these are somewhat of a static stretch, I'm not doing them for a super long period of time. No huge long holds. You see here, now this is a good one too, not just for my hip flexor here, but I'm feeling in my armpit area, right in that lat, this stretch with the lat. Right. I'm going to do 3 on this side and I'll switch sides. I'm going to show you before I switch sides, I'm going to do that hammy stretch again, real quick. So this round, instead of just holding it static, right, where I feel it kind of toes straight up to the ceiling, I feel like kind of the big part of my hamstring. But I'm going to add a little rotation into this. I'll turn a little bit for you guys. Rotate the leg like a cylinder. Alright. So you're really working that stretch moves around that hamstring back there, different parts of the hamstring when I externally rotate and internally rotate. Okay? Switch sides. All right, somebody's trying to get a hold of me. Right, so start on this side. Hang right there. Stretching that. I feel it right there is the main one I feel in this stride. Obviously my armpit too in that lat, but really right there, top of that hip. My oblique too, right? You can kind of floss a little bit too if you want. Open and close that. But kind of the focus for this, I'm really just pushing the hip to the stick. Getting that little quad. If you want to get crazy, if you got the mobility or flexibility, try to bring your heel to your butt like that. Really turn on that hamstring back there. Okay? Boom. And stretch. Had a pretty heavy workout week this week. Did a big leg day yesterday. So having this stretch is a great recovery. And that's kind of another benefit of these sticks is that obviously they're great movement prep before a workout, great recovery tools for after a workout. And obviously we use them a ton with our golfers because range of motion, right? Kind of joint range of motion is a huge aspect of golf fitness training. You know, obviously your pelvis lacks mobility, your hips and around your pelvis, obviously your hips are attached to your pelvis. They lack mobility, it's going to affect your golf swing. If your upper back, T-spine lacks mobility, it's going to affect your golf swing. Right? If your shoulder lacks mobility, it's going to affect your golf swing. So these sticks are a huge part of the golf fitness training that we provide here at Tam Strength and online, in our online places. I'm going to do one more. I'll do that rotations. Okay. There. And take the leg. Yeah. One of my favorite leg day drills or exercises to do is the 45-degree angle Roman chair back extension. All right. Hold a little plate on my chest and just hinge and then extend. Right. And I try not to hyperextend my back. So a lot of people you'll see sometimes. You know, this is 45-degree angle, they bend, and then they here, and they try to almost, I feel like, overextend, hyperextend. I don't think that's necessary, right? In fact, I find kind of almost rounding the back. I know I'm talking about a different extra strength training exercise while I'm doing stick mobility. But, you know, just to illustrate for you guys. All right, so we did all that. Now we're going to go ahead and do a little golf swing stretch. Since we were talking about golf fitness, I call this the golf swing stretch. Now, it's really kind of a shoulder stretch exercise, but I kind of use it with golfers because, you know, it looks somewhat like a golf swing, right? So I'm here, it sticks inside my foot. The same side hand is stacked on top. The other one's going to be stacked underneath. And I'm going to pull back into kind of almost like a backswing position, right? What someone somewhat looks like when they do their backswing. I'm just hanging, my chin's over my shoulder, looking down at my imaginary ball. And I feel this stretch in this shoulder and this lat over here. Then I'm going to drive through my trail foot, stand up tall, and kind of over-rotate. Feel like I'm rotating, right? Obviously taking that foot into the floor and banging it back in. Bringing it back in for that shoulder stretch. Turning through my body. Right. Right into it. Two more on this side and switch. Ooh. Clicking and cracking in that shoulder. I'll show you from the side view for this other side. Alright, so we'll do the side view. I'm going to put it on this side, hands near the top, and I'm going to pull back, so I'm going to do it like I'm swinging left hand. Alright? So, you can kind of see it from the side view, still hinging back, almost like a golf swing, and stand up tall. Alright? I feel this. When I come over here, I feel it here too. Alright? Kind of stretching this swing fascia that runs across the diagonal lines across our body. Whoop! That was a little bit too much over rotation. Almost fell back. I love these sticks. We're a little shorter stick now, but I mean, I know I already said movement prep, but in my opinion, these are kind of these are a must-have for movement prep. Whether you're a golfer, any type of athlete, honestly, or if you're working for strength training, I think lifters can really benefit from these sticks too. All right, a couple more shoulder movements. One of my faves is the go-to kayak. All right. Rolling those shoulders forward. See it from the side view. Really focus on keeping my head still, hips still on this one. Right? Like, obviously, if you kayak, you're probably moving a little bit more of your trunk. I'm not going to do that. Right? I'm going to try to keep everything still. Just move my shoulders. Focus kind of essentially strictly on a lot of upper body, I would say shoulders and upper back mobility. Right? And I'm going to roll it backwards, which... funny, I don't know why people are challenged by the backwards kayak. Right? For some reason, I don't know if they get a little out of their head and they're going here, but it probably has to do with mobility, right? Range of motion in this externally rotated position, right? So when your arm gets here, some people, it's hard for them to continue going like this. And obviously, the hand doesn't look like that on a backwards kayak. It looks like this, right? But that is challenging for people, right? They're on here, they can't get back here, right? A lot of people that get here, and then they start doing this, and then they'll start going forward again, right? Now, obviously, these tools can really help increase range of motion and mobility for the joints, right? This is pendulum now. So this is a transverse pendulum, just pushing the stick side to side, and then a little frontal pendulum, up and down. Good. Another great one for golfers, but for everyone. Shoulder external rotation stretch. This is the nunchuck. Right? So you can see the arm in this angle. I'll show you from the front side. We got a couple of different variations. When I do this, I like to keep my hand a little higher than my ear. Some people will get here, but I tell people get a little extended here, right? And that way, you can go ahead and work that. This will increase your external shoulder rotation, right? Okay? So, holding that, depending on how long you hold it, if you're doing movement prep for a workout, usually 5 or 10 seconds, couple reps, couple rounds, and you can dictate it. Now, sometimes this is a little bit too painful, right, for somebody to get into. And if anybody has any existing shoulder injuries, whether it be rotator cuff, or some other type of injury, this might not be the movement for them, right? So here, this one's actually a little bit more, I would say, attainable for clients, especially if they lack shoulder mobility. It's elbows in front of your body, and then you can go this way. Still externally rotating your shoulder, but it's just have it in a different position, right? All right? Now I'm going to switch sides. Okay? All right, hold on. Quick pause. And I'm back. All right. So now we're going to go this side. Nunchuck over here. Can you tell you why it's a nunchuck? All right. You guys remember those old school kind of ninja weapons? Nunchuck? All right. All right. Here we go. And I said, not all these I didn't invent. There's very few, if any, names I invented. These are all in the stick mobility manual you get when you get the certification. Take the certification class, right? All right. So shoulder external rotation. You guys, and maybe you've seen kind of working on rotator cuff exercises, whether it be PT or maybe baseball players that use the bands, and they do this or this, right? So this is very similar to working on that rotation, right? Your shoulder rotation. For guys, I really find a lot of guys, a lot of males, a lot of shoulder, upper back, neck pain, right? Whether it be from, a little slouching or text neck, whatever it may be. So working that nunchuck is a great one. This is a good one too. Kind of an old school stretch. I mean, people probably may have done it back in the day with the towel. This we call the towel stretch, right? Or towel over the tricep stretch. But sometimes you've ever seen people kind of drop a towel behind their neck, and they'll pull one hand up to the side, stretches the tricep on one side, and you pull down, stretches the tricep on the other side. All right. So I'm going to alternate, pull up and down. All right. Good tricep stretch. All right. This feels pretty good. Like I said, once again, I did jiu-jitsu this week too, so definitely sore all around the neck and upper back. So this one's feeling good. Got a little upper body lifting in this week. Nothing too heavy, still nursing a little bit of a neck and upper back injury or strain, muscle strain, I would say. So sides, all right, okay. And this is working some scapular retraction too. So you can see how I'm trying to really pinch my shoulder blades. Not with my elbows here, right? Trying to retract those shoulder blades. Scapular stability, another big part of golf fitness. Believe it or not, your scapula, your shoulder blades, how stable, how strong the muscles that are around it, and how stable the joints are around it can affect the golf swing, right? All right, that's your tricep stretch. I'm going to do a little ankles and hips to finish this off for the day. All right, or for this Friday workout, I should say. All right, so this is, we'll finish with the ankles. We'll go with the hips, right? So I'm going to do a little Captain Morgan, right? I'm going to do a little variation, a little 3-part variation for the Captain Morgan. All right, so kind of like level 1 of the Captain Morgan. I'll show it a little angle. My stick, 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock. Straight on, you can see it better. 12 o'clock center line of my body, 3 o'clock out to the right side of my body, okay? And now I'm going to lift this up as high as it can go. Abduct into side of my foot. Touches the stick. I'm really trying to push into that stick, get a little feedback. Both sticks, I should say. All right? And I'm trying to make sure that knee tracks over the toe. Right? Really abducting, trying to abduct as much as possible. All right? Now, I'm going to get there. I'm going to extend, flex, bring it back. All right? Drag it down the stick, lift it up the stick, bring it back. Okay? So a little strengthening here. Obviously, the sticks give me a little bit of feedback. Also working a little dynamic balance, too. I'm staying on one leg. Okay? Even though the sticks are kind of supporting me, I'm trying to have a light grip on the sticks for to work that dynamic balance. All right, now we're going to add a little rotation. Internal, external, back. Internal, external, back. Good. One more. All right, switcheroo. 12 and 3, or 12 and 9, technically, if my clock's over here. I gotta find this spot. Right there. Okay, so just abduction, first 5. All right, now up and down the stick. Back. All right, now hip swivel. A little tighter on this hip for me. I'm really trying to focus on just this hip. Trying not to roll that other hip. So that kind of limits my range of motion there. Last one for you guys, horse stands with some heel raises, right? So I got this stick. I'm going to hold it probably a little bit about sternum height because I'm getting a little wider stance. This is kind of a horse stance. Be a big horse, but this is what I'm trying to simulate, right? Or this is what horse stance is. And I'm just going to alternate my heel raise. Working that ankle mobility. Once again, I know it's not related to golf, but big part of the golf game, foot dexterity, ankle mobility. If you don't have mobile ankles, really it affects kind of everything up the chain. then your knees have to work a little harder mobility-wise. Then if your knees are working harder, your hips have to work harder. So ankle mobility also important to producing a power coefficient also. All right, 3 more each side. Couple doubles. That's just extra credit. All right, guys. That's today's live workout. Hopefully, if you are new to stick mobility, hopefully this will be, kind of a good intro, a couple moves. If you didn't catch it today, it'll be up on our YouTube channel. All our live workouts are on the Tampa Strength Academy YouTube channel. So find us there, subscribe, and I'll see you next week.